Welcome, friends of Poetry Across the PD. Thank you for listening in and watching this video, the second installment of Poetry Sundays, in which I will read a poem or two by a poet whom I admire in hopes that you will perhaps admire them as well and seek out some more of their poetry to read on your own. My name is Jo Angela Edwins. I am the Poet Laureate of the PD region and also the administrator of the Poetry Across the PD Facebook page. We will continue to have these short videos of poetry each Sunday, so please be sure to look us up each Sunday and see what we will be reading and discussing next. Today, I've been thinking about the poet Ada Limón, who is undoubtedly one of my favorite living poets, and her book, Bright Dead Things, that came out in 2015, is one of my favorite books of this century. The poetry is just really stunning and touches you in ways that poetry is so definitely supposed to do. Limón was born in California, but she's lived for several years in Kentucky. And the poems that I'm going to read for you today, I think, reflect her time in Kentucky quite well. I've been thinking of Limón as well because she was one of the writers we were hoping to bring this November to the annual PD Fiction and Poetry Festival held each November at Francis Marion University here in Florence. But because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've unfortunately had to cancel that festival this year out of caution. We don't want anyone to get sick. But the nice news is that the writers who had planned to come this year, at least as of now, barring any further unforeseen circumstances, do intend to return and be featured in our 2021 festival. Those writers include Ada Limón and the poet Amy Nezuku-Matadl, also the fiction writers Kelly Link and Ben Percy. So please mark your calendars, particularly if you enjoy hearing the poets read their own work, and who doesn't, and plan to attend in early November 2021, the PD Fiction and Poetry Festival. The two poems that I'm going to read today are both very short. The first one is the first poem in the book, Bright Dead Things, and it's probably my favorite poem by Ada Limón, and one of my favorites written in the last 5 years. It's called How to Triumph Like a Girl. I like the lady horses best, how they make it all look easy, like running 40 miles per hour is as fun as taking a nap or grass. I like their lady horse swagger after winning. Ears up, girls, ears up. But mainly, let's be honest, I like that they're ladies, as if this big, dangerous animal is also a part of me, that somewhere inside the delicate skin of my body, there pumps an 8-pound female horse heart, giant with power, heavy with blood. Don't you want to believe it? Don't you want to lift my shirt and see the huge beating genius machine that thinks, no, it knows it's going to come in first? That's a great poem to inspire young girls, I think, or really any young person, but perhaps young girls in particular. And you can also see with the reference to the racehorses, the impact of her time in Kentucky on that poem. The next poem I thought was a good one for this time of year because it's about fireflies, or as those of us in the South may have grown up calling them, lightning bugs. It's called Field Bling. Nights when it's warm and no one is watching, I walk to the edge of the road and stare at all the fireflies. I squint and pretend they're hallucinations, bright made-up waves of the brain. I call them field bling. I call them fancy creepies. It's been a long time since I've wanted to die. It makes me feel like taking off my skin suit and seeing how my light flies all on its own, neon and bouncy, like a wannabe star. Thanks for watching and listening, and join us again next week for another poem or two for Poetry Sundays.